Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something I've been using pretty regularly in my foundation routine, and these are the Body Shop Shade Adjusting Drops. So the shade adjusting drops come in lightening and darkening, and what it does is either lightens or darkens your foundation so that you can get the perfect shade for your skin. I have a lot of people who write me with problems about finding a good drugstore foundation, mostly because you can't test it out or the shade selection isn't as large as some high-end lines. What I've done in the past is mix two foundations together or mix a foundation and a concealer together to get the right shade. But with techniques like that, you are using product a little bit more quickly if you're using like a concealer in your foundation on top of whatever you're using a concealer for anyway. So with these shade adjusting drops, you only have to use a little drop from either one depending on your goal to get your foundation to the perfect shade. Now obviously these do only work with liquid foundation considering they are a liquid formula, and they do come with this little squeeze dropper which will help you get really precise as far as how much product you're going to be putting into your foundation. I've been using the lightening drops a lot more so than the darkening just because of the shades that I tend to purchase. I kind of overshoot my skin tone a little bit, or it's kind of the right tone, but definitely the wrong undertone. So it looks a little too warm or too orange on me. So what's great about the lightening drops is that it's not like a stark white. It's definitely like an off-white or an eggshell color. And not only is it going to lighten your foundation shade, but it's also gonna neutralize it. So if it is looking a little bit too orange, I don't wanna look Oompa Loompa-ish, this helps balance it out. I've mostly been using these drops with the NYX HD foundation that I have, and I showed you this when I compared it to the Makeup Forever HD foundation because they're so similar and I really love using it, and it's obviously a lot cheaper than the Makeup Forever one. So I have the shade Natural Beige, which looked like it would be the best match for my skin, but it definitely turned out to be a little too dark and a lot more warm than I actually am. So I'm gonna add in some footage right now so you can see the NYX HD foundation in Natural Beige straight out of the tube, like what color it's supposed to be, and then the shade that actually matches me after I've added a few of the lightning drops in it. So this is Natural Beige straight out of the tube. That's the normal color. This is with 3 to 4 lightning drops, which matches my skin a lot better, especially on my face. And this is with 3 to 4 darkening drops. And you can see how the darkening and lightning actually did still help neutralize the orange tinge that's in this foundation. And I have it on my skin right now, and obviously I have added in those drops to make it match my skin color, and then you can kind of see on my hand where we would be as far as the normal shade of the foundation, which is definitely dark, definitely a little orange. Now these bottles only contain half a fluid ounce of product, which is about half as much as you'd get in the average bottle of foundation, and these do cost $20 a bottle. Now before you click away and you're like, this girl is cray, let me tell you why I think that's worth it and why you'll probably never have to pay $20 anyway. Not only are these gonna save you time as far as returning shades that don't work for you and then trying to buy a new one and whatever, but it's also gonna save you money as far as purchasing extra foundation that you might need to mix into the one that you wanna use. And like I said, I've had people tell me they use concealer, and then obviously they're going through concealer a lot quicker than they normally would. And obviously you don't need as much of this as you do your foundation because you are only using a few drops at a time. So I would probably predict that one of these bottles will match the longevity of your bottle of foundation, and maybe even two, depending on how often you're using it and how many drops you need. Now secondly, I have never paid full price at the Body Shop, literally ever. Even if you're not part of their rewards program, which I think I used to be, but then they started charging for it, so I was like, no thanks. Especially online, they always have deals going on, whether it's 40% off one product, whatever product you want, so that would make this math. Let's math. Okay, I mathed. That would bring that down to $12 a bottle if you did get the 40% off discount. So a lot more easy to spend than $20 in some cases. Or sometimes they do the buy two, get two free. So if you want to go in and get some other stuff too, you can end up really saving money. And I think the best part of these is not only is this helping you use the foundation you have and make it work for you, but it also doesn't change the consistency or the wear time or the texture of the formula. This formula is pretty thin, but you're not using enough to actually thin out thicker consistency foundation. So if you're using a thicker foundation and you need that full coverage, this isn't gonna make it watery or anything. In fact, I would say that this foundation, the NYX one, is on the thicker side, and it's definitely full coverage. I mean, I know my skin looks good now, but it looks horrible underneath this makeup. So that's something that's really important to me, is that it's not shearing out your foundation. It's not going to affect the wear time or the coverage. It's really just working on the shade. Another great use for these is if you want to use one foundation year round. If you have one foundation that you really, really love, but you don't want to keep buying different shades depending on the season, because obviously during summer you might be gaining a little color, and during winter we tend to lose that. So instead of buying a different shade, you can just have these on hand and kind of customize as the year goes on. So these have really been helping me use the foundation I already have that's been kind of sitting there because I'm like, that's not my shade anymore, and get use out of the makeup that I've already purchased. So I hope you like this review, and I hope this helped if you were thinking about purchasing the Body Shop Shade Adjusting Drops. If you think these are really cool, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to tell me what you think in the comments below. Hopefully you're already subscribed, but if not, hit that button because we've got giveaways, we got reviews, we got unboxings, we got tutorials, we got everything here. Join the squad, and I will see you next weekend. Bye! And as I'm building up coverage and building up more product on certain areas, the product is still not looking cakey, which I think is really important, especially as someone who does battle acne